Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. You see by the title, is Melvin Gordon an elite back? You know, the running back there for the San Diego Chargers. When I think of elite backs in this league at this particular time, I think of Le'Veon Bell, okay? I think of that of Todd Gurley. Most of all, I think of Ezekiel Elliott. And that's pretty much where I'm going to stop at. You know, those are my three top backs that I look at. Those are guys that have went over, 12 and 1,300 yards, up to 1,600 yards a few times in their career, especially somebody like Ezekiel Elliott. Has done this a few years. Great hands out the backfield, basically all of them. Very good hands, good to great hands out of the backfield and whatnot. But those are the main guys that I think about. I don't think of Melvin Gordon in that light. Now, picture this. Melvin Gordon coming out of Wisconsin was just, his last 2 years there, was just blowing everything away in that 300, almost 400-yard performance that he had there in college. He was known as a bell cow. In most Wisconsin back, even going back to Rondane Dane, to Dane, the Great Dane as they called him, coming out of there, running that football. Now, Gordon was the 15th overall pick in that 2015 draft, right? He's done very little, in my opinion, for the record-setting career that he had as a bell cow, as that running back, as that pure running back coming out of Wisconsin. He's good, don't get me wrong, but he's calling for this money. And the funny part about this, a lot of these guys, let's go back to my man Devontae Freeman, I believe, right, at Atlanta. Had a good 15 or 16. He got his paper basically because of the 15-16 season. I've talked about him several times. Go back to the Le'Veon Bell, when I say why Steelers haven't paid Le'Veon Bell. And he set the market, and he was not the best back in the league. But he set the market. Gurley comes in, does what he does. Then Gurley basically gets hurt the last couple of games of the season, last game or two of the season and stuff like that, and virtually disappeared in the playoffs and completely disappeared, nowhere to be found in the Super Bowl. I didn't really even realize that. I knew Ezekiel Elliott had rushed for over 1,400 some odd yards, but I didn't realize he had 600 or 700, had like 60, 70 passes he caught, or like 600 or 700 yards, something to that effect, and whatnot. So let's just deal with Gordon right quick. I'm gonna jump back and forth here and there. So Gordon, right, has been a Pro Bowler twice. One of them times it's a replacement. Dude, I really don't count the replacement thing because that's the way it is now, because they play the doggone Pro Bowl before the Super Bowl. And the guys that's in the Super Bowl, they don't play. They might have been picked to play the Pro Bowl, but they don't play, which is stupid. I already did a piece on that, which is ridiculous in itself. Play the thing the way it used to be played, right? Some of them guys probably would like to go to a Pro Bowl, like to play in a Pro Bowl, But anyway, so he gets a Pro Bowl nod, right? In his 4 years, he's only rushed for 1,000 yards once. This is somebody that's last 2 years had to almost rush for like close to 3,500 yards, 37, probably almost close to 4,000 yards his last 2 years in college. Okay. Now, and his great hands received from 2016 to 2018, he has total 38 touchdowns. Well, he gets props for that. That's fine. But for a guy who's a bell cow coming out of Wisconsin, I'm not impressed. And if you start talking about if he's like, well, he's a dual threat back and stuff like that, he hasn't lived up to anything what LaDainian Tomlinson done in his first 4 years. If we want to talk about great dual threat backs, let's go back and talk about dual threat backs. If you want to go back and really talk, Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas rushed for 1,400 yards a couple of times, 1,300 yards 2 or 3 times, 1,200 yards 2 or 3 times. Look at what he did by the time he get to his 4th year in the league. Gordon, touchdown total might be that, but as far as all the other stuff, it's not even close. He went to his first playoff game this past year. In 2 games, he totaled 69 yards. 69 yards, okay? Marshall Faulk, same thing. I mean, I can just go on. I can just name out a couple, but those are the kind of guys that I'm talking about. And then somebody that he is on the same team and he's looking to be. And I hear what he's saying. He's supposed to get his money and all this kind of stuff like that. But I'm like, at the end of the day, dude, you haven't really done anything. Now, let me take you back to 2016 when Ezekiel Elliott led the league in rushing as a rookie. You had David Johnson from the Arizona Cardinals, who basically had over what my man had. My man had over 1,239 yards rushing, 16 touchdowns. He had 80 receptions, 879 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He totaled, he had 373 touches, 2,118 yards from scrimmage with 20 touchdowns. Okay? And people don't realize a little known fact right here. People don't realize, like, okay, that he's getting ready. This was like his second year in the league, right? What happened in 2017? They say, oh yeah, that contract they're gonna probably do this, that, and the other with the contract and stuff like that, because they was literally considering, okay, he's the best back in the league. Okay, give you that. What happened in 17? He blows his knee, or ACL, MCL, he blew his knee out. That was it. Okay, because we're thinking, okay, after him and after that 16 season and Ezekiel Elliott and stuff that he was doing. And a kind of a down year for Todd Gurley, but he was going to come back with the changes and stuff like that came up. So then next year, Johnson, who basically missed all of 2017, so in 2018, 940 yards rushing, 446 yards receiving, 50 receptions, and he ended up having a total of I think he ended up 10 touchdowns altogether. My point being this, and let me go back to Devonta Freeman. After those couple of good years, he gets the contract in 2017. Between 2017 and 2018, right? Because he missed, in those 2 years so far, he has missed 16 games. He's missed a season since he signed that contract. Then you look at what happened with Gurley, how he got hurt and disappeared. Okay? The thing that happened with David Johnson, that happened, right? Blew his stuff out the way. The only some really consistent back, and said Le'Veon Bell sat out because of the very same reason about getting money and stuff like that. He's had this share of missed games, but I'm like, when he plays, his production is off the charts. Gurley's production is off the chart, but this did not look good for him in that of the playoffs going into the Super Bowl. So now Gordon is asking for money. Based upon what has happened with Gurley, based upon what happened even to David Johnson, but most of all, what happened to Freeman, because nobody's even really talking about this. These guys when they get their money, or when this happens, and this is what they're afraid of, because running backs is on the horizon, then all of a sudden they're starting to crash back down again, simply because of different circumstances of backs either getting hurt, not performing, but most of all getting hurt, right? And then with Zeke, if you look at Zeke, as far as the bell cow, he is the epitome of that. If Zeke doesn't do that stupidness in that of 2017, his second year, missed 6 games, Zeke over 1,600 yards. His rookie year ends up just missing a few yards to make 1,000 yards because he missed 6 games. Okay, missed 6 games, and then 14, almost 1,500 yards last year. If Zeke stays on that pace, you're looking at somebody that possibly, basically, has almost rushed for 4,000 yards in 3 seasons. Okay, Ezekiel Elliott is doing it. But his off the field antics and stuff like that, we're going to see what happens with all that situation as far as him getting paid. But back to Gordon. What has Gordon done? I don't see 1,200. Now, he has knick-knack injuries, and he's been having knick-knack injuries since he came into the league. Okay? That is something to be, you have to look at. He's only rushed for 1,000 yards one time since he's been in the league. I haven't seen that season. I haven't seen 1,400 yards, 1,500 yards. What he came out of college is doing, I want to see that. And as a back, I need to see that in the second or third year. Quarterbacks might get a little time as a running back. You run the ball, it's not much change or whatever. By your second, third year, you are who you basically going to be. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. By the time the third year as a back, you are who you basically going to be. Okay? So you keep going dealing around with this guy here. So like I said, I haven't seen 1,300 to 1,500 yards with him. Let me see 1,300 yards and 500 yards receiving and 15, 16 touchdowns total. Or better yet, I could care less about the receiving aspect because that's just icing on the cake. Can you, when it's 30 degrees outside and it's muddy and it's raining or whatever it's doing, and y'all are up 2 points or 3 points or whatever the case it can be, and you can't throw the ball, receiving has not been good, can you carry the load? That's my definition of a pure running back can get it done. He can put the team on his back and take them to the promised land, or take them to where as far as he can basically take them, put them on his back when you start going and wanting this amount of money. Okay, the funny part about it is that the guy who set the meter for the running back has been on the decline since. And I'm talking about, talking about that Devontae Freeman. And I'm like, he's just, he's basically disappeared. Gurley disappeared in that of the playoffs due to injury. He said he wasn't injured, but Bell sat out the whole entire season. In my opinion, has been the best back in football. But as far as just Bell counted, Zeke hands down is the best in the business. And I already explained that stuff about Zeke. Melvin Gordon has not done. Melvin Gordon, yes, while giving have gotten 38 touchdowns in the last 3 years. Where's that 1,400 yard season? I haven't seen it. And this is a thing. This is like becoming a theme with these people. Just like you got Dak Prescott's contract coming up. Now Dak, just for the mere fact that he has a winning record for 3 years basically in a row, and because of that, his record garners certain money, although not yet his performance. And that's why this is a major year for that of Dak, because whatever he does this year, that's going to define him what kind of quarterback he's going to be, because you got to give him like 4 years at that quarterback position and try to, some can get it quicker than others, and some is like you give him 4 years. After that, he is who he is. He's going to be who he is, okay? So with Melvin Gordon saying the things, he's saying all the right things. I mean, yeah, running backs deserve this, running back deserve that. But at the same time, him wanting money, and of course San Diego to me is notorious for not even really thinking about money. Them guys have always have issues with giving people money. That's a part of that franchise. But at the same time, it's like, what has Gordon done? What is that signature game? When has he done it? And now he's getting ready to go, finish up a 4th year, getting ready to go in his 5th year. Threatening hold out and stuff like that. It's no doubt that I think the kid can play, but he hasn't showed me anything yet. And I know everybody's trying to crown Saquon Barkley. Let's see what he does this year. Because like I told y'all before when I was talking about that old Christian McCaffrey thing and what Roger Craig said, 1,000 club, that ain't hitting on shit to me. If your team, like when Roger Craig did it, that was Jerry Rice's rookie year. Montana did not have a good year. Rice was still nervous and whatnot, and Craig was the leading receiver in yards and catches, and he rushed for 1,000 yards. That was by pure necessity. That had to happen that way. You know what I'm saying? That had to happen that way. They went 10-6 and got knocked out in the first round. Saquon Barkley did all that last year. Oh man, he did this, he did that. Guess what? They went 5-11. When your only back, when your only receiver is your back, you're in trouble. Same thing that goes back when you try to throw Christian McCaffrey up in that. Same thing. What they end up going 6-10 after starting up like 6-1 or 5-1 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't mean anything. Now when you start talking Marshall Faulk and Thurman Thomas, now we talking. Gordon is not in that conversation. I'm sorry, cuz you're not in that conversation. And I don't think he wants a big contract at all. That's just my opinion. He hasn't showed me nothing. Maybe he'll show me something this year. 1,400 and 600 yards. Okay, we talking then. About 20, we talking. We talking. If you ain't doing that by now, if you come through here with barely 1,000 yards I don't want to hear nothing about that. And I want to see that game where you put them on your back, when you do it all, where you sit up there, get that crucial first down, make that crucial 15-yard run, get another crucial first down, and score the winning touchdown, or get them in the position to kick a field goal to win. That's what I'm looking for. And that he hasn't shown me that. I haven't seen that. Have not seen that. And he's only been in the playoffs once since he's been there. And he played in 2 playoff games and has gone to 69 yards. I rest my case. Now, he's not an elite back in my opinion, and doesn't deserve the amount of money that I think he's probably asking for. But hey, and he may get traded. Who knows? Because San Diego's like that. But yeah, I just want to throw that little 2 cents up in that, man. Something everybody needs to be looking at, man. Like I tell y'all all the time, and I say this and it's jokingly, but I mean it. It's like, yo, look, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. You know what I'm saying? That's real. And that's part of my saying. Numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. You know what I'm saying? Check, smash the like button, share this. Got any comments? Leave them down there about Melvin Gordon. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong or right, because I know I'm right, because he hasn't done anything. Just take out his numbers and to where he think he's at, and some of the people he think he compares to. Put them up against him in their first 4 or 5 years in the league, first 4 years in the league, and see this Gordon does not even come close. Maybe in the touchdown department, but he's not coming up nowhere close, and he's not helping his team win any ball games, and he's knick-knack injured. So that goes. Like I said, check me out. You can also check it out on Twitter and everything like that. Everything Football 62. And like I tell you guys, just like I just said, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. There's no greatest of all time. There's no GOAT as long as time is still going on. We catch you guys later.